Welcome to A View to a Grill. I'm Johnny, and today we're going to be doing some grilled ancho chili burritos, all on the Golden's cast iron Kamado. Let's start with our marinade. For our marinade, we're going to need half a cup of lime juice, quarter cup of olive oil, tablespoon of salt, a teaspoon of comino, and a teaspoon of pepper, and some cilantro. The star of this show is going to be Crave's Ancho Love seasoning. If you want some of this for yourself, check out the link below. For the marinade, we're going to need a Ziploc baggie. Now, in no particular order, I'm going to pour in the olive oil, then I'll pour in our lime juice. Next, we'll put in our seasonings, and then I'm going to use 2 full tablespoons of Crave's Ancho Love seasoning. Next, I'll just zip up the Ziploc baggie, twirl it around, and then I'll shake it up vigorously until all of those ingredients come together. When I was done, I had some marinade that looked like this. Next, I will just tear up the cilantro and put it right into the bag. Now we'll bring out our chicken breast. These are 2 fairly large breasts. One is just a little bit smaller than the other. I'm going to pound these out a little bit, and to do that, I'm going to use the bottom of my cast iron skillet. It's going to tenderize the chicken breast, and it's going to make it a nice, even, uniform shape from one end of the chicken breast to the other, which means it's going to cook evenly. After I have those pounded out, we'll get them both into the Ziploc baggie. I like to move them around a little bit in the bag just to make sure that the marinade gets all over the chicken. Now I'll slowly zip up the Ziploc baggie. At the same time, I'll be pushing as much air out of it as I can. I just feel like by doing this, we get better marinade coverage of the chicken. Now, all we have to do is get that on a tray and put it in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. Now, while that's in the refrigerator marinating, let's go ahead and set up the Golden's cast iron Kamado. Now, if you didn't know, I have an Instagram page, and if you wouldn't mind going over there, following me on Instagram, I'd appreciate it a lot. Now, I've set up the Golden's cast iron for a hot zone and a cool zone. I'm going to get my Golden's cast iron lump charcoal and fill up a Weber chimney starter all the way to the top and light it. Once we see the lump ashing over, that's our clue to get it into the Golden's cast iron Kamado. Now I'll just spread those lit coals around a little for some even heat distribution. Get the grates in and spray them both with a little oil and close our lid. I'm going to make sure that the top vent is wide open and the bottom vent is wide open as well. And now it's time to get our vegetables ready. So I let that go for about 10 minutes, and now I'm just getting my jalapenos on the hot side of the grill. I'll just get them roasted over the hot flames and let them get to about this color. Once they've gotten to about this color, I'll move them to the cool side of the grill. I'm also going to do this to a red bell pepper. Use any color bell pepper you like. I just happen to have red, and this was the final color of the red bell pepper. Now we'll de-seed the jalapenos and cut them into about a 1/4 inch strips. I'll do the same thing with the red bell pepper, and notice I'm leaving all the char on the peppers. And I'm just getting all of these peppers into a bowl as I cut them up. Now I'll go ahead and get that lime, cut it in half, and then squeeze half of that lime over the peppers. Next, I'll get my Crave Ancho Love and just lightly season the peppers. Finally, I'll get the cilantro, roll it up, and cut it up. Then I'll get that cut up cilantro and put it in with the peppers. We'll give all of that a mix and then put the lid on the bowl and then set it to the side and let all of those flavors come together. It's been about 4 hours, and now it's time to get the chicken on the grill. I'll get it out of the bag and onto a tray just so it can drip a little bit, and then I'll get the Crave's Ancho Love and give it a light dusting on both sides. And when I was done, I had some chicken that looked like this. Now we'll get the Golden's cast iron Kamado open, and look at that fire. It's blazing hot. Next, I'll spray the cast iron grates with a little oil to help prevent sticking. And now we'll just get our chicken, put it on the indirect side of the grill, and close the lid. In this case, I let it go for about 15 minutes, And now we're going to check the internal temperature of our chicken. Once it gets to about 100 degrees of internal temperature, we're going to move our chicken over from the indirect side of the grill to the direct heat side of the grill. Once we have our chicken over direct heat, I'm going to let it go for between 1.5 to 2 minutes. And after about 2 minutes, we're going to check our chicken. The color is developing nicely, and now I'm going to give both of our chicken breasts a quarter turn. Now, I'm not doing this for grill marks. I just want the flames coming up from the charcoal to hit the chicken in a different spot. The grill marks are really just a byproduct of what I'm doing. Also, since we've been coloring up this chicken, I've not closed the lid. So far, we're just doing this with the lid open over an open fire. And take a look at this chicken. Both of these chicken breasts are coming along beautifully. Now, after about 2 minutes, we're going to go ahead and give this side of the chicken a quarter turn and just let them go. Now, after about 2 minutes, we're going to go ahead and check the internal temperature of the chicken. The smaller breast is reading at 145 degrees. We'll go ahead, move them both over to the indirect side of the grill and close the lid. And we'll check these in maybe 5 to 7 minutes. Now, 5 to 7 minutes later, the smaller of the two chicken breasts is reading 161.7 degrees, which for me is close enough to 165 because the residual heat will bring it up to 165. I'll go ahead and remove that, put that on our tray, and check the other chicken breast. The other one is reading 157.2 degrees, which is not close enough for me. So I'm going to close the lid and let that go for 2 or 3 minutes. Now, 2 or 3 minutes later, I'm going to go ahead and pull it off the grill and put it onto my tray and take a look at these two chicken breasts. They are looking pretty good. For the next part of my cook, I'm going to have to take out the divider plate of the Golden's cast iron Kamado so we can toast our wrapped burritos. I'll just spread those lit coals around evenly on the bottom of the firebox. Once I have my sear plate out, I'll put my grates back in upside down, and then I'll put my sear plate on top of those and let that begin to preheat. And now it's time to assemble our burritos. For our burritos, I have a 1/4 cup of Mexican rice, a 1/4 cup of pre-cooked pinto beans, and some salsa that I made earlier. Now I'm just going to thinly slice my Ancho chicken, and of course you knew I had to take a little taste, and this stuff is outstanding. You can just see the juices that are left on the cutting board. Now, initially I thought I was going to use about 3 ounces per burrito, but it actually turns out to be a little less. I'm going to use 1 extra large burrito tortilla, which the label says is 220 calories. I'm going to go ahead and get that on the sear plate of my Golden's cast iron Kamado, and all I'm trying to do at this point is soften the tortilla. Now, I actually only used 2 ounces of that cut up chicken, and that comes out to about 128 calories. Now I'll take about a 1/4 cup of those peppers and put those on, about 17 calories. Next, I'll throw on the 1/4 cup of Mexican rice, which is about 60 calories. And then I'll take a 1/4 cup of pre-cooked beans, which is about 65 calories. And now I'll just roll up my burrito by turning the burrito and bringing in the edges of the tortillas until I have it completely rolled. Now we'll just take that burrito over to the Golden's cast iron Kamado and start toasting the burrito. Now that I have the burrito all toasted, it's time to check on our results. So far, I'm really liking the way this looks, and I can't wait. Now we'll take our knife, cut the burrito in half, and reveal the center of our burrito. And take a look at that. That just looks so tasty. I can't wait. Now, don't forget that salsa that we made. We're just going to take that salsa, plop it right on to where our first bite is going to be. And by my estimation, 3 teaspoons of salsa is about 10 calories. Now let's get into this burrito And this thing is so good. This is probably the best 500 calorie meal that I've ever had. Everything about this burrito is so dang tasty. It's just fantastic. And now I'll just roll up 3 more of these burritos. They're all gonna make great lunches. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, take a minute, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching A View to a Grill. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, y'all.